Hello everybody. We are back with another YouTube today, and this is just post this new moon we had, which actually energetically for most divine feminines probably was a bit easier than for the masculines in the collective. The masculines, it really feels like, for those who identify as twin flames, are truly having a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of breaking old cycles, possibly ancestral and generational cycles as well, that's coming up with this new moon. And a lot of major things are coming to completion. It's funny that as soon as I split my Everyday Witch Tarot deck, I had seen the Ten of Swords, and then as soon as I split my Tarot of Mermaids, I saw the King of Chalices, or the King of Cups. So there is major transformation going on. Butterflies, Luna moths, dragonflies. Those three things are symbols that you possibly could be seeing a lot of, and those are all indicative of transformation that is going on both individually within the divine counterparts, as well as for the connection within 3D situations that you may be dealing with, etc. There is a lot of self-reflection going on. There is a lot of realizations and awakenings also happening. So these are always intense processes. They're never easy. And they are really kind of like an ongoing thing, even after, a period of separation, however long it might be. When you come into reunion with your divine counterpart, those transformations and awakenings oftentimes continue. So it is still, it's always a work in progress, I guess, just like any and every relationship. But with the twin flames, the emotional intensity is just magnified. So I've been feeling really drawn to a couple different decks, but especially my Everyday Witch Tarot lately. So I'm going to start with that, and let's see what messages come through for the collective. Whilst I'm shuffling these cards, feel free to set your own intentions for this reading, either in your mind, out loud, or in the comments. And here we go. As we said, right? Awakenings, transformations, and there's a lot of mental activity. I'm also downloading that the dream state could be very active for many of you in the collective. And I'm being drawn especially to my Tarot of Mermaids because I feel like certain divine feminines in the collective are dreaming of mermaid energy, of siren energy, some positive, some negative. But there are definitely messages to be gleaned within the dream state. So if you keep a dream journal, definitely log whatever you remember when you're up. And if you don't keep a dream journal, I do recommend beginning one now, because the energies are intense and they probably will continue to be for the next 2 or 3 weeks. But honestly, this transformational energy is going to last until next year, probably January, when many of you will look back and probably not even recognize yourself anymore. So we had the Moon, the Five of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. Automatically we have 2 fives, and if you've been following me, you know that fives are signals of big changes. 1010 is cycle completion, karmic things coming to an end, karmic lessons completing, new ones starting, new cycles beginning. So it's actually leveling up. And with the Moon card here, this is really talking about the inner world being illuminated for the collective at this time. There is a strong sense of surrender, but also with the Five of Swords energy, we can see that there's a lot of mental activity still. where there's almost fickleness in thoughts. One day you could be feeling really secure in your twin flame connection, knowing that everything is happening for a reason. The next day, or sometimes, later on within the same day, some divine feminines could be questioning, does this masculine even really like me? Is anything that I'm feeling even true? You could be really questioning your own intuition. You could be questioning everything that you're feeling. But with the Five of Pentacles here, I'm really feeling that there's a lot of divine support and guidance through all of this. Through the darkness, you are being divinely guided and navigated. See this person holding up a lantern and this childlike figure next to them? This to me is really giving strong guide energy, like your divine guidance system, your ancestors, your angels, the higher powers in whom you believe are ready to be called upon to light the path. And whether you're actually calling on them or not, I do get the sense that they are just automatically intervening at this stage to help you get through this. For those of you in the collective who are actually in karmic connections, I sense major transformations happening there too, where the karmic partner that is invested in this connection with you is making a last-ditch effort to make things work, because even they are intuitively feeling that this connection is not going to last much longer. But because there's a familiarity to it, because there's history there, and it's a comfort zone of sorts, I'm really feeling that they're just grasping for anything at this point to try and make this work, but intuitively they know that it's not going to last, that something new is about to start here and their life is about to take a turn. There's about to be shifts here. Immediately the Nourishment card turned over, and oddly enough, this person is carrying two, I believe they're fruits. It looks like probably a papaya and a peach. But this is Waxing Crescent number 5, and it says Nourishment. But the card itself is number 7, but down here it says Waxing Crescent 5. So 5 again, and 7s for that divine guidance. For some of you, before your twin flame returns to the picture, I'm really getting that you could be also encountering a new soulmate, because through nourishing yourself in this process, you're leveling up and you are attracting people of a higher vibration that are going to be added on, so to speak, to your soul tribe. So for a few of you here, I do feel like there is also somebody in addition to your twin flame that is entering the picture, or they will be very soon. For some of you, you may already have an inkling of who this person is. And here we have the card Extremes. This is the number 34 card for progression. But notice that it's the hot moon card. There's going to be competition here, you guys. There's going to be competition for your love because you have leveled up. Whoever the new person is already knows your worth. Your resilience is making your light shine brighter. And your ability to bounce back now, oh my goodness, has improved leaps and bounds compared to where you used to be. And notice how this person is carrying a weight on their back. Divine Feminine, what used to be your burden, the Divine Masculine is actually now carrying. But it's not just about this connection, it's also about their own situation. But you kind of putting that baggage off to the side has given you the strength and the resilience to actually put the past behind you and move forward. And this is what's bringing in, I'm hearing a divine feminine step in to say, a glow up. And I think that's very on point. Divine feminine, you are glowing up. You are very much glowing up. There's a hunger for life within you now that wasn't there while that burden was still on your back. Now, that's not to say that you don't care about this connection anymore. That's not to say that you're ready to put it behind you and move on, but you have surrendered to this degree of, well, if this connection is meant to be, then it's going to happen. But I'm going to continue to focus on myself and nourish myself the way that I deserve to be nourished. I'm going to put that focus back onto me and enjoy the life that I have now, because you are getting this intuitive nudge that you're not going to really be single for much longer, and the life that you know right now is truly about to change. And all of that is confirmed with all of the fives that we have been seeing. What other messages, Spirit, do I need to channel? King of Chalices. Don't you remember me showing you guys this card, King of Cups? Yeah. You have a divine masculine, and potentially for some of you, another soulmate that's coming into the picture with a lot of warmth and appreciation for what you have to offer, for who you truly are. And you could be getting mixed signals from some of them. I do get that, you know, some of you might really be having a hard time deciphering how either of these masculines feel. And I feel like for the twin flame connection, that's especially true because of the lack of communication. It doesn't have to be completely no communication, but there is enough of a lack of communication to where you might be feeling like this person is giving you mixed signals. You're not really sure what to make of the way that they're presenting. They are, you know, kind of at a distance, or putting up like a boundary around their heart that's not letting you all the way in. And that's what's confusing you, Divine Feminine. You're like, well, do you want me or not? Like, where is this going? And for some of you, not for all of you, I feel like by around fall time, you're going to start to see a big shift and realize that you actually are moving forward, and you had been this whole time. You just couldn't tell because of the mixed signals that this person has been giving you. We have the star at the bottom of the deck. I was just being guided to look at the bottom. And the star is a major representation for healing. This is deep healing that's happening for the connection. For those of you that are still not in communication, I feel like this, when you do reconnect, it's probably going to be on a friendship level first with your divine masculine. And you both are going to realize quickly how difficult it is to be only friends with your divine counterpart, because it just doesn't work that way. Twin flames are always romantic. It's just the way that the connection is divinely designed. But the divine masculine, in order to avoid moving too quickly, is going to try to come in a friendly energy first and see how you respond to them. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, where, you know, things are really going to start moving really quite quickly in a romantic direction. But when they come in with this friendly, vibrant energy, that is going to be the time that you're healing a lot of the heartbreak that took place from when you guys were initially connected, and then the separation phase happened. So expect a lot of deep healing to be taking place for the rest of this year for most twin flames who are not ready for a full-blown union. And this means, like, you know, a title of a relationship, or even taking it towards marriage or an engagement or anything like that. This is a time for really deep healing within the connection. But because your guys' energies, the divine counterparts' energies, are already naturally so healing to one another, and the desire is present in both counterparts to really move forward as quickly as possible. Four of Cups, you've been manifesting it. There's going to be much more movement than you would initially expect when the reconnection happens here. Really get clear on how you want this reconnection to look like with your twin flame, because I guarantee you, especially with this new moon that's all about manifestations, and we have the oddly enough, right, I never noticed that until now, we have the triple moon on the backs of these cards. The universe is listening. It is actually just simply waiting for your directions on how to bring in what it is that you want to bring in. I just heard my guide say silver platter. So yes, it's going to feel like your manifestations are being served to you on a silver platter. You guys, we have the Ace of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. These are pretty big breakthroughs, communication coming in, letting go of conditioned mindsets, and really embracing your own internal compass. This is breaking free from the thought patterns and the conditioned ways of responding to things, to people, to situations that had been holding this connection back for so long. Releasing those fears around, well, if I react this way, then what if this happens? For lack of a better way to illustrate this concept, and me coming from a mental health background, I have treated clients with obsessive compulsive personalities, traits, disorders, and these clients truly struggle in a myriad of different ways, right? Like, they feel like if they use the bathroom at a certain time, things will be doomed. They feel like if they do a certain thing a certain way, they feel like they have to live so uncomfortably in order to be safe. And for lack of a better way to describe it, it is truly a living hell for such people, and my heart goes out to them. This disorder is no joke, you guys. But the way that conditioned mindsets hold us back oftentimes, it kind of mirrors those types of tendencies. It may not be as exaggerated as like obsessive compulsive disorder or, some form of it on that spectrum, but it kind of moves in the same way within our consciousness that makes us believe that, we have to conform to a certain set of ideals. We have to choose certain things, respond in certain ways in order to maintain a livable flow of life, an acceptable flow of life, in order to be accepted or acceptable, in order for things to just work out for you, right? And those exact conditioned mindsets are what these astrological transits are helping people energetically release, especially those in the Twin Flame Collective. You're realizing, like, that awakening with the moon card that we saw earlier is helping you realize the fallacy of those beliefs, that is not true, that you don't have to live uncomfortably and sacrifice your happiness, your joy, your love in order to be accepted, in order to be acceptable, in order for your family to be happy with you, in order for whatever it is that you're trying to hold on to that's draining you of your life force. This is especially true for the masculines. And it's being mirrored in the feminines by the feminines also dropping those conditioned mindsets and actually trusting their internal compass and flowing with it. In my third eye, I'm actually being shown a flowing river. And it really feels like the ease with which a river flows is going to be the ease with which you're able to move forward by releasing those limiting beliefs and mindsets, is what my guides are showing me. I'm going to put these cards back into their respective decks and see what other messages need to come through here. I'll be using my Tarot of Mermaids next. I'm really being drawn to this watery energy because emotions are running pretty high, especially in the Twin Flame Collective. There we go, you guys. Oh my gosh. Ace of Chalices, water energy. What am I talking about, right? And in this deck, the conch shell, conch, I don't know how you guys prefer to pronounce it. I grew up saying conch, so I say conch shell. In Hinduism, conch shells are also sounded in temples. They are sounded before war. You know, they are sounded in weddings. So all types of important events, big events, all have conch shells to announce that significant event. And the fact that the Ace of Chalices with a conch shell came out here, and with these big shifts that we've been talking about that are taking place through divine intervention, and conch shells are actually considered very, very holy in Hinduism as well. I really get the sense that whatever shifts are happening, we know it's major, but it's going to make some major waves in your life. For some of the twin flames here, I'm getting that there's a reverse age gap, meaning the feminine counterpart is older than the masculine. Now, just to remind you, feminine and masculine are energies only. These could very well be the same sex couples. It just depends on which energetic identification you identify with in this connection. For those of you in that type of connection where there's a reverse age gap, I really feel like this younger masculine party is, when they come in, they're really going to make some big waves in your life. And hence the Temperance card, where the balance that you know in your life right now is really going to be thrown off kilter in a good way, And that's being reinforced here by the Six of Wands card, right? Like, this is victory, fame, recognition, overcoming of obstacles, moving away from the negative into the positive, moving away from what no longer serves you into your manifestations and desires. Life is really about to change for some twin flames here. And I'm talking changes that you probably somewhat imagined but didn't fully expect. Some counterparts here could be really pretty impulsive. They could be suddenly reappearing in your life and then, you know, taking you on adventures that you wouldn't normally have gone on. You know, I do get a sense of a very adventurous spirit here. I'm seeing somebody like backpacking across the mountains and the woods. I'm getting, oh my gosh, and I'm being drawn to the backs of these cards here, where you can see how it's mirrored, right? As above, so below kind of concept here, with this dividing line of the material realm in the middle. Cards just want to fly out. But a lot of what you had been manifesting that has been, you know, those seeds have been planted and germinating in the 5D are now culminating enough to where it's trickling down into the 3D, and this has been happening for some time. This truly has been happening for some time. A lot of these trickle downs have already been taking place. They just have not been noticeable enough, because the full-blown reunion hasn't happened for some of you, and you're noticing all the astral changes within yourself. Some of you might even be feeling like you're in union already in the 5D. Some of you might be experiencing astral pregnancies pretty soon. Now, that doesn't result in an actual physical baby, but it is a concept where when the twin souls merge enough and so much of the sensual energy is being pushed energetically into the other counterpart, that energy just kind of conglomerates and stays with the counterpart that it's being pushed into. And for some, it manifests as an astral pregnancy, where in the 3D you could be having, like pregnancy style cravings, you could be experiencing nausea, you could be experiencing a lot of pregnancy symptoms without actually being pregnant. And it's a result of the astral sex that takes place between twin flames. If that makes sense. And if it doesn't, let me know in the comments and we can make a podcast video about how that works. But it is a thing. And if you've been experiencing those types of symptoms, please do let us know in the comments if you feel comfortable or called to do so. What other messages are there, Spirit, that we need to get out here? Four of Pentacles. The divine masculines are saving up, you guys, and feminines, I'm seeing you in the Queen of Pentacles type of energies. I feel like a lot of you who either have your own business, you're an entrepreneur in some way, or you're in a leadership role within a business that you work for, I am seeing that your resources are going to be increasing, and the masculines are working on themselves to level up in order to make their way back to you. This is especially true for masculines who have been in karmic situations for long enough that their resources were either drained or not fully their own in some cases, and they feel like they need to rebuild themselves as individuals. This is still actively happening. This is an ongoing process. The masculines had the realization a long time ago of needing to do that, and thus the process had started. But there are some masculines that I'm picking up on that it seems like it's not the easy road, but it is the path of least resistance that they tend to take. So achieving their goals usually takes more time than others for some. 8 of Pentacles, but they are working hard on it. They're working on it. And the results are starting to show. But the results are especially starting to show for you, Divine Feminine. For some Divine Feminines here, I do feel like when the Knight of Chalices, my cards, I love when they complete my sentences for me. When the masculine returns, they may even be congratulating you on your success, Divine Feminine, because it's going to be that obvious. It is going to be that obvious. The Magician. For some twin flames here in the collective, reunions are a little bit more complicated than you realize, Divine Feminine. And I feel like I've made an Instagram post about this as well, because this is a prominent energy in this collective, where certain divine masculines, because of a mistake that they made. Now, a couple YouTubes back, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 videos back that I made, probably 2 videos back, I talked about the potential for twin flames of the second wave, where the masculine is going to be either making a really big mess or mistake that, like they kind of make unconsciously, and then the reality hits them, but by that time the mess is already made. I feel like some masculines did that. And the energy that I get for that situation is kind of like the reverse of this card, right? Like the downside of the Magician card, which is manipulation, lies, trickery, all of that stuff. So in order to save face, some masculines in the relatively recent past, maybe even just 2 months ago-ish, I don't know why I'm getting that time frame, but I am, you know, potentially made a big mess in a karmic situation by denying their feelings, you know, and kind of going against their own intuition about this connection. And this is even after, you know, kind of having spoken to friends and family about wanting to marry you, Divine Feminine, seeing you as their other half. And then when the mistake was made, some masculines were questioned by friends and family about, well, what happened to Divine Feminine? I thought she was the one you want to marry. Masculine made up some lies, probably, is really what I'm feeling. And it was to save face, you know, possibly saying things like Divine Feminine walked away, didn't want to work on this connection, you know, just went silent, ghosted me, whatever. It just kind of threw you under the bus, Divine Feminine. Well, that is the mess for Twin Flames of the second wave that I'm sensing in the collective that's being cleaned up here, which is why the Magician card in the upright position now appeared. So the lies and deceit are being cleaned up, are being rectified in order for this masculine to fully put an end to whatever karmic situation has been holding him hostage and make his way back to you, Divine Feminine. Trust that it's happening. And I'm seeing a Divine Masculine being very adamant in my third eye, telling a Divine Feminine that she doesn't need to come with him when he's cleaning up his mess. Like, in other words, this masculine is telling the feminine that he doesn't want her to see him like this. He needs privacy and space to clean this mess up for himself, and that's what he's doing. So basically he's asking Divine Feminine to leave him alone until he fixes this mess, because he doesn't want Divine Feminine to hate him more. You know, not that you hate him at all, but Divine Masculine's ego tells him these things, and he's becoming very defensive for some privacy while he cleans the situation up. So guidance from Spirit about that is, once again, the Six of Wands card. Recognize that. Give the masculine the recognition for the space that he needs right now, and just let him fix his mess. Because truly, that's what's going to help him heal further. And the healed version of Divine Masculine is the only version that you truly want to be with anyways. Any further? Knave of Pentacles. So I'm hearing trust. I'm hearing my guides say you can trust that the masculine will fix this mess and clean it up. Not because he's a trustworthy person per se. I mean, not to say that the masculine's not a trustworthy person, but not, you know, it's not really him that you're trusting. It's the divine intervention and guidance that he's receiving that you're trusting. So my guides are saying over and over, kind of surrender and release your fears, that the divine is actually kind of taking over here and making sure that the masculine says and does all the right things to clean this mess up and come back officially to you, Divine Feminine. So that's what I'm getting here. I'm going to pull from the emotions deck here, just kind of get some feelings around these situations. What else can I channel? Yeah, pride and blame. They had too much pride to tell the truth about the fact that they made a mistake and therefore they blamed Divine Feminine. That, well, I had to be stuck in this karmic situation because Divine Feminine ghosted me and Divine Feminine didn't want to work on this connection anymore. Divine Feminine, I'm hearing a masculine literally saying, well, Divine Feminine and I both decided that, you know, we both have too much to work on in our own lives, and that's why we parted ways. But that was their pride talking. That they were just putting the blame either directly on the Divine Feminine or just on a made-up situation. Bottom of the card, service. Yeah, absolutely. Service of what? Their ego. They were in denial. But what's coming out now? Honesty. What is Spirit asking of you? Patience and empathy. Having patience and empathy is going to lead you to your abundance in this divine soul connection. The judgments of others will be put to rest. You will be freed from that, and you will be on track to following the purpose for which you incarnated with your twin flame in this lifetime. Just be disciplined within yourself. Try not to push or probe or try to force anything to happen, because changes are already underway. You are simply being asked to trust and release your worries. This is the sign of your soul's growth and the death of the old cycle. It's okay to grieve. You will be grieving because this connection is a part of you. That's what being a twin flame is all about. You're never separate from your counterpart. Your divine counterpart is a part of you. You are a part of them. It's okay to grieve. It's healthy. Don't try to suppress those emotions, but also just try not to force anything to happen, and trust that everything is happening as it should with divine intervention and grace. I'm going to wrap this reading up right here. I truly do hope this helps. It feels so good to do like a really lengthy, full-length reading again after a really long while. So thank you for all of you who are still here. If you made it to the end of the video, leave me a little moon emoji. I love seeing that. And yeah, comment your affirmation, your mantra down below. I trust in the process of this change. I trust in the process of this change. That is your mantra. That is your affirmation. Comment it down below. Put it in the comment section and own it. Because it's true. It is real. This is happening. Things take time, but they happen, right? You didn't just end up on this journey on a whim. You were divinely orchestrated throughout your entire life to come into contact with your twin flame. Trust the process. Trust in divine timing. All right, you guys, come join me on Instagram. I am still on severe screen time restrictions from my doctors, so I'm still taking a break. You can book your readings. Just know that I won't start working on them until I have permission from my doctor to have some screen time. But I do have an assistant who is helping me. They do have another job, so the process is a little bit slow. So, you know, I do try to work on readings as they come in with my assistant's help, where I dictate and they type it out for me and then send it on my behalf to the client. So, you know, just know that caveat right now. But my Instagram and TikTok handles will be linked down below. I do post daily messages, and the readings are not duplicated across platforms. Please make sure that the usernames are spelled correctly. There are a lot of impersonators out there. As soon as I have permission for screen time again, I'm going to try to get back in touch with Instagram to get myself verified, because in the midst of it, my eye thing happened. And so I think I have to start the process over again. But hopefully I'll have that little blue check mark soon and it'll all be taken care of, and impersonators will have a harder time. But then again, I see a lot of people with the blue tick mark and they're still getting impersonated. So don't really know how effective it's going to be, but we'll give it a shot. Anyways, you guys, I look forward to seeing you on my other platforms. If not, I will definitely see you again in my next video. If you would like for me to be able to channel more specific information for you and your situation, more specific guidance to your situation, then do be sure you are subscribed to my channel. That is a form of virtual energy transfer. So that does allow me to pick up on your energy more clearly if you are subscribed to my channel. And if you hit like on my videos, you will definitely get some messages that are unique to you. So all of those things are free of charge. You get full-length collective readings here. So definitely a lot of perks to being subscribed to my channel. And yeah, I will talk to you all again in the next reading video. I hope you all had a restful new moon.